Some moments in life knock you down and others shake you to your core. Well, these soul-shattering moments are known as lifequakes. They destabilize everything you thought you knew, forcing you to reevaluate who you are and what really matters and where you're headed. Well, my next guest will provide strategies for navigating those quakes and emerging stronger on the other side, to use your own lifequakes as a platform for profound growth and personal transformation. Author and speaker Aubrey Grossen is joining me through the screen to share. Hi, Aubrey. Thanks for joining us.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Okay, let's start with the definition because I hadn't heard this term before. How would you define a lifequake?
Yes, I love this. I actually found this definition online, and I feel like it just explains it perfectly. But it's a significant, sudden, and unexpected shift in the trajectory of your life that initially feels devastating, but has the beneficial outcome of catalyzing personal growth, transformation, and rebirth. Something that we all go through throughout our lives.
Yeah, and it's more than just a temporary setback, because you believe a lifequake requires maybe a deeper, more transformative response than something like temporary setback.
Absolutely. Something that changes the very person that you are.
Yeah, so we have all had those, I think, and if we haven't, we will. So you're going to get a little vulnerable with us here, and you're going to share a moment where you felt like you had a lifequake.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all have it differently in our lives, whether it's loss or in our marriages, or, there's so many different versions of a lifequake. Mine happens to be the loss of some miscarriages. And it was one of the most devastating times of life where I had to have a handful of surgeries, go through the loss of losing these babies, and kind of have this answer of I can't have babies on my own. It was devastating to go through. And I remember during that time, my life just felt shattered. I felt like it wasn't what I had planned. Nothing was happening according to what I had wanted. And I remember just feeling so dark, and life just felt very black and white. And during that time, I craved color. And so I would actually go search for colorful walls or colorful places, something that brought color back to my life, because I just felt like I couldn't see past this black and white. During that time, we were living thousands of miles away from family, and we were in Texas, and in Texas, it rains like the best rainstorms ever. And for whatever reason, I just felt so alive to take my toddler at the time, and we'd go dance in the rain. And it sounds silly, but it just brought so much life back into me that I didn't feel like I had. And there's just things that I did during that process that helped me to shape, those babies help shape who I am, and they changed my life forever. But it definitely, I will never be the same.
Yeah, it sounds like you were just reaching for those life-affirming things like color, like nature, those things. And I like that you're going to help us, because there are women out there right now who are currently in a lifequake. And so you have a few ideas for us to help them navigate. So first, you say it's important to allow yourself to feel it. So what do you mean by that?
Yes. And I actually asked a few, because lifequakes are so different for everybody. So I was asking some of my friends and family who've gone through so many different things. And it's so interesting because a lot of these things are so much the same, even though the lifequake might look different. So yes, the first one is allow yourself to feel it. So I think so many times as human beings, we want to just be comfortable. We hate being uncomfortable. And when something happens, we have a hard time just sitting in the uncomfortableness of it. And I think so often we feel mad, or maybe we're mad at God or whatever it might be. But until we allow our bodies and allow ourselves to feel it, it'll just stick inside of us until it comes out in uglier ways later on. If we hold on to something, it'll just build up inside, whether it comes out in panic attacks or anger or whatever it might be. But if we can feel whatever it is that we need to feel in the moment and give ourselves that permission to feel it, it will start that healing process.
Yes, I totally agree with that. So your next point is to search for glimpses of light. What are those for you?
Yes. I said glimpses of light because I feel like joy comes in our lives in the gaps. We are never, if you think about it, when you've had joy in your life, it's not a 24/7 feeling. It comes like in the gaps of our lives. And if we can look for the light, or go look for the color in our lives, go look for the rainstorm, go look for the thing that is bringing us joy, find something. I'm a big believer in the power of and. I feel like you can feel grief and hope at the same time. You can feel pain and light at the same time.
Yeah, and then we need to identify what those things are that will bring us that light. I think it'll be different for everyone.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so also faith is a big factor in this. You say we need to anchor ourselves in faith, no matter what that is, I'm assuming.
Yes, I mean, so often we blame our trials, like God is cursing us, or like we've done something wrong, and I think we forget that the things that we go through are happening for us. It's not just to us, it's for us, it's changing us. And if we can anchor ourselves in our faith and what we believe in, and know that God is on our team, it helps us to process through all that.
And you want us to, and I think this is what you did in the example you were telling us, find what makes us feel alive again. But you need to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, totally. And maybe it's mine was rainstorms. Maybe it's like painting. Maybe it's learning a new sport, learning a new skill. I think when we can shift our mind to, and maybe it's service for others. I think so often we kind of, when we're going through a life quake, it feels this close to our face. And if we can kind of take a step back and just see where we can serve other people, and see what skill we can learn, and use our creativity, find something that makes us feel alive again. Because when we're going through devastation, it is hard to feel that feeling, but it happens when you try new things, and when you reach outward and you look for ways to serve, and you find things that just help you to feel that again.
And finally, I think this would help to read that definition of lifequake again. We'll put that on our website, but because you want to encourage us to become something after the lifequake. I'm assuming maybe something better.
Exactly. Well, and isn't it true, when you go through something like after my babies, I will never be the same. That is something that has changed my life forever. I will always remember them. I will always think about them. That is something that will stick with me forever. I'm not even the same person that I was before I had them. And I think when we can look at what we're going through as something that we are meant to become, I love that word, become. Becoming something is like, what is this life quake doing for you to become who you're meant to be? I think if you can look at it from that perspective, you'll be able to see what lessons are to be learned and become the person you're meant to be.
I love that. Thank you so much. You have a podcast where if you liked what Aubrey said, which I do, you have a podcast where we can hear more.
Yes, I do. It's just called Arise Within Podcast. And I do a conference every year that is focused on Christ and finding that light in your life, especially if you've gone through a life quake. So most of my stuff is found on Instagram, just at Aubrey Grossen.
Okay, thanks so much, Aubrey. We will connect all of you to Aubrey's page from ours for an easy connection point. Thanks again.
Thank you.